Hello and welcome to a special episode of Sofa Sensei's Sunday Sit Down. You can see you're joined by me, Kavan. But look who this is. To my left, we've got Nico, the magician, Michael. Sorry,
what's happening?
Mini magician, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got that one wrong there. But listen, welcome to Nico. Thanks for coming on. A special edition of Sofa Sensei's Sunday Sit Down. We're going to discuss this week in combat sports, but then we're also going to discuss Nico's last fight, his next fight, and it's been 1 year, one whole year since he's appeared on Sofa Sensei's. So let's give him a round of applause to start off with.
And that wasn't even planned.
That wasn't even planned. But we made sure we got it right because, what can I say? This show is about building communities. The network is about building communities. And Sofa Sensei's is a incredible community joined by fighters, joined by fans, and joined by you, the viewers. So thank you so much, Nico, for sticking with us for a year. We've seen both of your fights, and we don't plan to let the streak slip. So third fight incoming. Looking forward to it. Right, Nico, how's your week been?
It's been good, mate. It's been good. It's been good. I had a nice little break in Morocco with my girl. That was quality, man. We did so much.
Love that.
Went all the way up to the Uzad waterfalls, Uzud, as they would say over
Yeah.
there. Got to feed a monkey. Had a monkey sit on my head. Wait, that was one thing I wanted to do was see that monkey, and there was bare of them, man.
Yeah.
The waterfalls. It was just beautiful scenes. The food over there was good. Got a few runs in, but overall, great experience, man.
Was you still a boxer while you was out there, or was you just chilling, being Nico the man?
I was being a little fatty, but I was still a boxer over there. I still got the runs in early morning before my girlfriend woke up. Just went out when the sun was coming up.
Love that. And do you feel recharged? Do you feel ready to get back at it?
Yeah, I can't wait to get back in it now with all the boxing going on. I mean, I still weighs on the brain as a boxer. It's the moment you wake up, you're just thinking boxing. You're thinking how many sessions you got to do today, what meals you eating today. It's constant, but to have that little wind down, to not worry about that, it was good. It was needed. So now we're back at it.
So your last fight was
24th of Feb, so just over a month ago.
Yeah, literally a month ago. Wow. Okay.
It flew by.
And reflections on that fight, man.
It was tough.
Yeah.
It was a step up from my last opponent. I think I boxed very well, to be fair, because the guy was taller now and he was orthodox with me, so I got to show more skills, throw a different variety of shots, and I think he was there, innit?
Yeah.
I think the first thing was the end of the first round, caught him with a hook and burst his eye open.
Yeah.
So after that, obviously that would put him on for like a 30-day ban.
Yeah.
And he had fights scheduled, so after that, he weren't fighting for a month. So he come out trying to
win.
Trying to knock me out. It made it, although it's bittersweet, it made it my opponent fight me more. So I got to work harder.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it, man. I hope you got to enjoyed watching it.
Bro, I think you look sharp. Definitely, I could see the improvements from your first fight to the second fight. Definitely looked super, super sharp. You looked on it. That last round, as a Sofa Sensei, was scary.
Yeah,
because we know who you are. And we're like, it's not nice to see, you get caught with a jab or even any shot. Yeah. But I would say the first 3 rounds, controlled them handily, showed your skills. And then that fourth round, shit happened.
Tell you what it was, that fourth, we think we was in close. And I had a tight guard, but obviously not tight enough. And he caught me with an uppercut. Like, it didn't hurt. Like, it wasn't like, like my face hurts. It was like, shit, I can be hit.
Yeah.
Like, I felt it. Like, I didn't wobble or anything before. All right, maybe you need to tighten up a bit more. But no, I enjoyed it, man.
That's what it's about, isn't it? All these rounds, they're about teaching you in as kind but honest way as possible where you got gaps, where to fill those gaps, how to fill those gaps.
Go back and work on.
Exactly. And get the rounds in. Bro, I still don't know how you deal with it. Rachel and I reflected on this in the episode after your first fight. People cheering your name, people shouting for you to come on. Like, how do you deal with that pressure? Because in my brain, I'm thinking, shut up, like, I'm trying to focus, you know what I mean? But
I thrive off it, bro. Like, honestly, it's the best thing. Being able to sell tickets as well, so you've got the biggest crowd there. And I tell you what, when you've got that much crowd going on, you've got to pick a good song to come out to.
Okay,
so for example, my last one was Power. I know everyone, my generation and around, knows that tune. And as soon as it comes up to... As soon as you hear pow, that's it. The crowd was gassed.
Yeah,
When you can hear your name coming out, you think, right, this is because during camp it gets lonely and boring and tiring, and you think, oh, can't bothered. And then when it comes to that moment where you hear it, you think, this is what I've trained for. So that's what goes through it. To me, it spurs me on. I think, right, I'm coming out. I can hear it. I'm not letting it get to me, but I know my fans are here now. So, but as soon as my head goes through those ropes, I can't hear no one.
Right.
It just disappears. I can't hear nothing. Like now I'm talking to myself in my head. The only people I'm listening to is me and James in the background, and I'll hear. There's voices you recognise in the audience from like the gym. I hear them every day. Like they recognise, and you just got to stay focused and focus on your game plan. And if it's working, the crowd's gonna get hype. And when it comes to the end of the round and you hear Nico,
Bro.
Nico, it's like, ooh, second wind again. Let's go again.
So do you listen to Pow during camp, or is it that's going to be your walkout song, so you will leave it for that moment to switch yourself on?
It depends on what training I'm doing. If I've got my sprints coming up, I might put it in there like after my second round of sprints. I'm like, oh right, let's get the energy back. Yeah. So it all depends. Like this round, I've not picked a song yet, but when I pick it, I will keep playing it. I will imagine myself in the situation coming out to this tune.
Right.
And then whilst I'm doing my sprints, like depends on how long it is, I will play out the fight in my head. Like if he does this, I'll do this, and I'll finish it on this. I could get him out like this, and before you know, that round of sprint's done.
Yeah.
I think, oh, still got energy. So it does play a big part. Picking the right song and building the right playlist when you're doing certain training sessions helps massively.
I think during one of our shows called Fine Down Wicked, we said we'll create a playlist of what people recommend when they come on the show. But actually, I'm thinking about creating a SOFA Sensei'S playlist as well. You know, Nico, your walkout tune, Pow. Dom's is P's and Q's. I'd be interested to see what Ty wants his walkout song to be. And then Dempsey Madden episode isn't out yet, but make sure you stay tuned because it will be out soon.
He's making a comeback.
Yeah.
Shout out to him.
So I'm interested to see what his walkout song will be. So maybe we'll get a collection together. We're starting with, of course, Nico's. That's a good show.
You should definitely do that. Everyone's walkout songs.
Yeah.
Or even people, what they would, if they were a fighter, they'd have as their walkout song.
Yeah. We'll do that.
I'd rinse that playlist. I'd rinse it. I'd pick a tune out of it.
Nico's a 12-round fighter when that playlist comes on. Let me tell you that. So you mentioned obviously hearing certain voices and recognizing certain voices, but for the most part, you're zoned in on yourself.
That's it, yeah. Because at the end of the day, you can put all this work into camp. You have the people behind you saying, "Oh, you can do this," blah blah blah. But it's not like a football team. You haven't got 10 of them meant to pass the ball to and have a little sit down. You've only got yourself, your fitness, and your self-belief, which is what I have. Yeah. Which is, I might not have the best skill set, but I've got self-belief that I know I can do this. So if you've got that, you go far.
Love that. So one person I wanted to pick up on actually, because you mentioned her right at the start, was your girlfriend, bro. Biggest fan. She's your biggest fan.
She loves it, man.
100%, man. You could see she's in the vibe. She's in the when you come out, yeah.
I'll never get so angry,
bro. You see Misfits tag teams. Bro, if it was you and her, yeah, she would be down for you. You can see it.
I'd tag her in, bro. She's got the hardest knuckles, honestly. But I remember I think it was my first fight. I was watching it back, so I can hear her. She starts a lot of the chants.
Yeah.
But I was watching the fight back, and all I heard was, "Think of the chocolate."
Damn. That's an extra
I didn't
motivation.
hear that when I was fighting. But nah, she loves it, man. Which is, she's fair play to her. She sticks by it a lot because
it must be difficult, isn't it?
I mean, I'm training. What I get up at, if I stays at mine or stay at hers, I'm up at 5:30. I'm going to the gym in the morning. I'm going work. I'm going gym afterwards. I see her. Like, yeah, it's a lot. Like when it comes to me being on the nutrition plan properly, I can't go out for foods. Like,
yeah, of course.
It's fair play to her, man. She's a good girl.
What's your alarm as well? Is it the iPhone one?
Yeah.
Bro, you're ruining lives. When that goes off at 5:30 in the morning and people are hearing.
Oh no! I've changed it.
Have you got a nice one?
Yeah, this one wakes me up softly. Let me see.
I was gonna say, bro, that one there is violent.
Oh, yeah, I recommend this one to a lot of people. How do I see what it's called? Chimes. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, try and play it.
I'll set one now for 12.
All right, make sure you stay tuned in the episode so we can hear Nico's lovely, kind alarm. Because listen, that iPhone alarm is aggressive and no one wants to hear that. So. Let's see what we can do in the next couple minutes.
Yeah, we'll go off. I'll play it, hold it there, go off in a minute. But it's a soft one, man. It's like, let's wake up.
Love that.
But that's another thing as well. When you're getting up at these sort of times, to start with, when you don't do it, it's like, I've got to go to the gym. But now my alarm goes off. I'm like, don't snooze it. Alarm goes off. Don't think about it. Get up. First thing, flick the kettle on. Have like little shot of coffee and off I go. That's every day.
That's a great habit in itself, you know. Just being able to get up first time with the alarm. But that transfers into so many other areas of your life where you just feel more productive. Because those snooze moments.
That's what I mean. I don't get the snooze. You set an alarm for. There we go.
Not gonna lie, that sounds aggressive, but it sounds nicer than.
It
It gets better towards the end. Towards the end, it gets better. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Just get up, turn it off, up I get.
Yeah, fair enough. Right. So, wanted to talk about this week in boxing. That is what SOFA Sensei Sunday Sit Down is all about. It's been a crazy week. But before we get to all the craziness in the heavyweight division outside of our own experiences, I want to talk about my experience. Yesterday, I was in London, visiting my girlfriend actually, and went to a lovely place.
In London?
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
North London, Edgware.
Never heard of that place.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know why I said that. I don't know anywhere.
Oh, yeah. North London. Basically, it's near Camden-ish. So, we went to a place called Ginger and White in Hampstead, and real posh restaurant. I saw it on Derek Chisora's story months ago, and I thought I need to visit there because it'd be nice. Yeah. Bro, guess what I bump into when I go there?
Derek Chisora.
Derek fucking Chisora, bro.
Did you actually?
Yes.
Man.
I was gassed. Yeah. So I had a chat, bro.
Did he say he's coming on the show?
Bro, listen to this. A little bit awkward at first, right? I was like, Derek, man, good to meet you. I'm a huge fan. He's like, yeah, good for you. And I was like, all right. I have to firm that one. What am I going to do? Man said, good for you. All right. I'm like, bro, I had to firm it off. I thought, all right. Wow, I was not expecting that.
It's just a killer.
Yeah. Man just said, good for you. I says, yeah. He looked at my girlfriend. He says, what's your name? And she said her name and all of that. And he's like, what are you guys doing here? Like? And she's like, oh, I only live down the road. He was like, and then she said where she lived. He says, oh, I live 5 minutes from there. And then I'm not going to say where he lives, but he said where he lives. And I'm like, right, Derek Chisora was telling us where he lives. Like, but then I suppose he's Derek Chisora. What are you going to do? You're not going to go and visit him, are you? Because it'll fuck you up. So, yeah. But then we had a brief chat, and he's like, is he a good man, Brittany? I just said her name. Is he a good man, Brittany? And she was like, yeah, he definitely is. He's like, if he's not, call me, and I'll fuck him up. And I was like, bro.
And all you said was, I'm a big fan.
Fam, I said, I'm a big fan. And he said, good for you. And then he went and told my girlfriend he's going to fuck me up. Mad thing, innit? Mad thing. You know, but I would expect nothing less from Derek Chisora. If this was like, I don't know, Joe Joyce or fucking Anthony Joshua, I'd be a bit like, random. But Derek Chisora, I expected randomness, innit? And his hands are fucking massive.
Is it?
His hands are massive, bro. And I thought, rah. But he ain't that big as a human being. He ain't that tall. He's wide, but he ain't that tall for heavyweights anyway.
How tall do you reckon he is?
I think he's
6'1",
6'1", 6'2".
He's not massive.
Yeah, for heavyweights, but he's a big fucking unit. Like you wouldn't want to push him. Like it's long, it's long, bro. But very interesting interaction with Derek Chisora. And then throughout the rest of the day, you know, he was getting pictures and whatever else, and his daughters were there and all sorts. So I didn't really want to bother him too much. But nice interaction, man. I didn't mention the show so much. I mentioned that I knew his cousin. So I mentioned that. No, his other cousin, Ronald.
Nephew.
So I know, shout out Ronald. Ronald's been on our show before. Check out the archives of Before Our Friends Die. So yeah, I know his cousin Ronald, and he was like, oh yeah. Again, he didn't really give me too much. He didn't really give me too much. So I'll keep drip feeding the podcast. I'll make sure we get him.
Your girlfriend's got his number, so
yeah, fucking hell, she'll get me in. Yeah. So yeah, it was an interesting interaction with Derek Chisora. I thought I'd mention that one there on the podcast. Secondly, wanted to pick up on the kings of the heavyweight division. Derek Chisora's last opponent,
sorry, bro. I've just
Tyson Fury.
Put the spoon on the side.
Don't worry about it. All good. Tyson Fury, USYK, fights off officially. Thoughts?
I just thought when it was made, I didn't think it was going to happen.
Okay.
The heavyweight, to unify the heavyweight, it takes a lot to get that to happen.
We've not seen it in 20 plus
That's what
years.
I mean.
What is going on, like? So you saw Fury. Fury offered USYK 70-30.
Which I think is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's terrible.
For the way Fury carries himself with the whole Joshua situation, fight for free, rare tear.
Bro.
And now you're offering my man from Ukraine going through problems 30%.
Yeah.
Well, you painting as a good image of yourself, and you almost just ruined it.
Yeah. So USYK come out and said, "All right, I'll take it. Just donate $1 million to Ukraine, and I'll take 30%." I don't think Fury is expecting that, if we're honest. I think Fury is expecting to say, "No, fuck off."
Yeah.
And he could say, "See, he didn't want it," but then when USYK said he wanted it, Then he come out and said, get rid of the rematch clause. One and done. USYK said the rematch clause is from your side. Okay, then they agreed to have a rematch clause, but USYK side wanted 70-30 in the split backwards, or 50-50. And Fury wanted... USYK side wanted 70-30, Fury side wanted 50-50 in the rematch, which I think, to be fair, 50-50 in the rematch is fair. Because 50-50 in the first fight is probably fair as well. But anyway, they couldn't resolve that problem. The fight is now officially off. And I just think it's disappointing for the whole of the sport of boxing, because the heavyweights set the tone for the rest of the divisions.
Which is why I think they like to keep the belt split.
You think so?
Because it creates two champions. You've got USYK, the great champion. You've got Tyson Fury. If one of them's got all the belts, that's the only person that person wants to fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I mean, April 29th, you're right, was very, very close. Fury's trainer wasn't in the UK. He was only here for the OKOLIE fight. So that was convenient rather than anything else. I just think Fury, you're right, has come off of this a lot worse.
Yeah.
He looks like he ducked it. Whether he has or not, we don't know the truth, right? But it looks like Fury didn't want the fight, and he was creating so many barriers for the fight not to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that lets a lot of people down. But hopefully we see something.
Who do you think would win that fight?
That's a great question. See, I feel like Fury's going to win it. But he's a lot bigger. But I can see an argument for USYK winning it. I just think Fury's going to win it. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I just think USYK will be in and out. Because he can do that for 12 hours. We see it against Joshua twice.
Yes.
So everyone says Fury's a mover. He is a good mover.
His legs are slowed down a bit though.
Yeah, but even though he's a good mover at that weight, you've got USYK who might be a little bit lighter, but that's his style, in and out points. So it's good. I'd like to see it happen, but
yeah. Again, if we're thinking about who you like as well, he's got that Lomachenko.
They train in the
lineage,
same gym. Yeah, which is probably why I like him a lot.
I did say, I thought when USYK beat, I think it was Gassiev for the Muhammad Ali Trophy and the Undisputed Cruiserweight Championship in the World Boxing Super Series, I says, this guy's going to move up and he's going to be heavyweight champion. And he did. Tyson Fury is good, but I just think there's something in him that has doubts around USYK.
Yeah, which I'm still surprised that bearing in mind, USYK's got the rest of the belts.
Yeah.
How are you going to offer your
30%.
one belt 30% and 70 to you?
It's madness.
It should be the other way around.
Yeah, if you're looking at belts alone, it should be the other way around. He's saying he's the bigger name, he brings the bigger profile. Maybe, but lest we forget as well, over the last 12 months or so, USYK sold 2.5 million pay-per-views with Anthony Joshua. People know who USYK is because he's beaten Anthony Joshua twice. They know who he is. He's got a profile. Let's not deny that. I think we're also seeing the decline of Anthony Joshua. He fights a week tomorrow. Yeah, a week yesterday. And versus Franklin,
That fight was meant to happen time ago, you know.
Really?
I've seen there was some talks. I think then Joshua went and boxed someone else. That was
probably Ruiz.
Could have been. It was that time.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, AJ, the tickets still aren't sold out. I got an email from Matchroom yesterday about the AJ fight and saying there's still some tickets remaining and whatever else. And it's like...
Where are they boxing?
O2.
Mad. I might shout out Jordan because he gets got box tickets there.
Does he? It's worth a shot. They won't be gone. But it's madness. We're talking about AJ a week before he fights, not selling out. Something's happening, man.
Yeah, it's not. He needs to do something.
Yeah, something's gone wrong. It's scary, you know.
I suppose not a lot of people know who the Franklin guy is.
But sure, is AJ not the attraction? Is AJ not enough anymore?
Well, clearly
obviously not. Yeah,
evidently not. But
I think AJ wins though.
Yeah, no, he smokes him.
Same. He smokes him. Those USYK fights.
Hopefully we see an angrier Joshua this time.
I hope so.
Yeah, same. Entertaining.
Violent.
Like the Klitschko, that was his best fight, in my opinion.
29th of April, 2016.
Is that how long ago it was?
Yeah.
Shit.
I had a £20 on Klitschko.
I think everyone thought Klitschko was going to do that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I lost. All right, moving on. We're going to move over to UFC a little bit, or MMA.
Oh, I never turned it off.
No, all good.
I snoozed it. It's been 10 minutes.
See, and I hope that wasn't a shock. That was more of a introduction to our next topic. NGANNOU says Usman was injured before the fight with Leon Edwards. That's why he couldn't train. That's why he lost.
Do you know the amount of times we hear that in combat sports? But the thing is, every athlete carries injuries.
Yeah.
And I've got injuries. I've got my left wrist always. It still hurts now. My knuckles are sore.
Yeah.
That was not massive, but
It's something.
It affects.
Yeah.
And why would you go into a fight if you're injured? Like, to the point where you shouldn't be fighting.
Yeah. Why?
Why?
Yeah. And Ngannou, you know about going into fights injured. You went into the fight with Cyril Gane with a ruptured ACL or something mad in your knee. To the point where, you had to wear sleeves, but you went in and you won. So if you cannot make that excuse and you still won, maybe Edwards is just better at the moment.
Yeah. I think I watched that fight.
Yeah. Maybe he's better. And by the way, if you are interested in our thoughts on last week's show with Leon Edwards fighting Kamaru Usman and Justin Gaethje fighting Rafael Fiziev, we went live last week on SOFA SENSEI'S YouTube channel, so make sure you check it out. But, quick caveat, the stream did cut out. So, head over to your favourite podcast platform to find the full audio episode. Just thought I'd have to get that in there. Okay.
I think Lomachenko went in against Lopez with an injury as well, didn't he? His shoulder injury.
Yes, he did, yeah, because he had surgery straight after. Yeah.
I generally believe him.
He went into surgery straight after that fight. But he didn't get his rematch.
No, which is sad.
Yeah,
but
very sad.
Got Haney coming up soon.
Oh, I think he loses. Man, Haney looks good, man.
Haney does look good.
He's young, he's sharp.
He's young. Lomachenko, don't get me wrong, he has the IQ and the skills to beat him, but whether his age is or he slows down, we'll see.
Yeah, he might just be a step behind.
But it's a tough one.
Yeah. When is that fight again?
It's May, I think.
Okay.
1st of May, maybe. Or 31st. It's soon.
Yeah. I'm just going through my notes. I've got it written here. Derek Chisora said, that's good for you. Every time I read it, it hurts my feelings. Yeah, Edwards. Dana White said he's got to fight Colby Covington next. Edwards says he doesn't want to fight Colby next. Dana yesterday confirmed he's fighting Colby next. Because, as Edwards puts it, Colby has Dana White privilege. And
nice.
Colby, yeah, it was a lovely line. And Colby, although in my opinion is undeserving for a title shot at this point, he obviously makes money for the organisation, which is why they're pushing him to fight for the title. So yeah, interesting.
Ain't it mad how it's all changed?
Bro, the UFC used to be the place.
Best fighter of UFC boxing.
Yeah.
You could be the best fighter. If you can't sell a ticket,
No
you
one
ain't
anymore.
getting that spotlight.
Nope. And that's for boxing, that's been the way for a little while now, or for a long while now actually. For the UFC, they used to be the best fighting the best. In this organisation, you will not find anyone who is not the best fighting for a title. And now that has changed. They had the odd thing like Matt Serra won a tough competition to then fight GSP because the rest of the division was quite thin. And Matt Serra was not on the caliber of GSP. But he won. He knocked him out. Obviously a fluke, and then he came back and got beaten. But generally speaking, the UFC was that premier division. And I feel like they're letting themselves down. Particularly, Edwards should be fighting someone like maybe even a Khamzat. Maybe even Jorge Masvidal if he wins. I'll tell you what, worst case scenario, slap him in there with, what's the guy's name now? I'm thinking of the wrong division. I was going to say Beneil Dariush, but that's 155. Yeah, there's a couple people, Burns in particular, I'm thinking of, who should be fighting for that title if they beat Masvidal, for instance. And obviously you got the huge story there with Masvidal versus Edwards because Masvidal punched him up backstage in the O2. So that would be a great fight. But it's just disappointing when Colby's getting the shot when he hasn't really done anything and he's sat out and yeah, I don't know.
It just happens, bro. That's what happens. Money talks.
Right, moving on. The rest of the fights last night, we saw UFC Chito Vera fighting Corey Sandhagen in a card which pretty much went under the radar. Interesting card. Chito lost all 5 rounds according to my card. Disappointing. I thought Chito would pull it out of the bag. I thought he would win. But congrats to Sandhagen. It's a major division, the 135 division, bantamweights. They're aiming for I can't say his name. Marav Devashali, I think his name is, fighting Corey Sandhagen next for the number 1 contender shot. The only problem is Marab and Aljamain Sterling, the current champion, are very good friends. So what does that mean for them if they end up facing each other? They've always said they won't. So I'm interested to see how that pans out. Not going to talk too much about that card now because
it's an interesting one when you say about the friends because
yeah,
you know Kieran Conway.
Yeah,
he's they want him to fight Tyler Denny for like a British title eliminator. But Tyler Denny said if it's going to happen, and that would have came from their end. But since the moment like Kieran turned pro, they spar each other.
Right.
So I'd say they're friends. I don't know, but
Yeah.
they've known each other for time. Now they have to fight each other, and it's always a tricky one. It's not. Yeah, it's always tricky.
I mean, at this, there's two ways you can look at it. Like, at Kieran's level, fighting someone like Denny is a step in the way he wants, in where he wants to be.
I think he wanted to go for the British.
Okay.
Take that route, but he will see what happens with this.
What weight is that?
I think he'd do it middle.
Okay.
I'm not sure how many pounds that is. It's
160.
It's mad how you know all them. I just get told the weight I need to be and I make it.
Yeah. 160 is middleweight. So I mean, that's interesting. Didn't he? Was his last fight at 168?
167 maybe super middle.
Yeah.
But I think he's middle. Because he went up from super welter, I think.
We were saying on the show actually, I'd love to see Kieran develop that killer instinct. Do you know what I mean? That because you could see in his last fight, I could see it 3, 4, 5 times. The guy was ready to go. Yeah. And I don't know. Obviously, I'm not an expert, but Kieran didn't seem to want to kill him.
Things Kieran hits hard.
I've heard everyone we've spoken to about Kieran says he hits really hard, and he's really, really good. And you can see how good he is.
It's strange that they're not going down. Like, he hits hard. I would never want to get punched by him. It's
Bro. Yeah, it's long. It's very long. It's very long.
long.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting fight, though. I think it's one where, you know, despite being friends, you've got to sort of take that risk.
I don't know how friendly they are with each other, but yeah, you got to take.
You got to do it, man. And if you sparred him, you got to use that to your advantage as well.
Yes, fighting someone that you've fought before or sparred before is always an interesting one because you know what you got to do, and then because you know what they're like, they're going to be trying to change a few little bits.
Yeah, and they know what you're like.
Yeah, man, rematches are odd.
Damn,
and
yeah.
Fighting someone you know.
Right, last night in the cruiserweight division, we saw Lawrence OKOLIE defend his WBO World Championship against David Light.
The great white light.
Mate.
I like that.
Bro, the white light was the thing I saw when I fell asleep, bro. Because that fight, yeah. Oh, I'm really disappointed because I wanted to stay up and watch it, but the undercard was dead. I'm not going to lie. Fraser Clark pisses me off, you know. I'm just going to say it, bro. Yeah, and I actually like Fraser Clark as a human being, as a man. He posted something on Twitter once about a sparring partner letting him down, and we reposted it on SOFA SENSEI'S, and he, you know, supported the post. Great, fantastic, thank you. And I actually think he's a great talker and great analyst, and really honest as an analyst. If I'm going to return him the honesty, his level of competition just is not it.
No.
And I know he's 3-0 or 4-0, however,
it was
whatever he is
in that fight, so 6 now.
Yeah, but given his amateur background, his pedigree, he should be fighting guys better than that. Look at the Joe Joyce route. It was in his first fight against Ian Lewison, who just fought for the British Championship. So Joe Joyce's path is one Fraser Clark's team should have looked at and said, that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Fighting Bogdan Dinu and breaking his rib in the second round. Bro, I don't know, man. He doesn't look
see
like
what he comes up with next.
Yeah, he says he wants Wardley next for the British Heavyweight Championship. I'd like to see that. Wardley, Fabio Wardley. I'd like to see that. Because I think this is where the amateur pedigree comes in, and he might outsmart
having
Fabio.
too much of a good amateur pedigree, doesn't always mean you go far in the pros. It's so different.
That's what I'm seeing, you know.
Too much could almost jeopardise it when you turn over.
Bro, look at Tony Yoka last week. Tony Yoka, Olympic gold medalist, beat Joe Joyce, allegedly. Beat Joe Joyce, if you believe that, for the Olympic gold medal. And he's lost his last 2. He got beat by Martin Bakole, got stopped. And then he got beat on points by Carlos Takam.
Mad.
Look at Audley Harrison, Olympic gold medalist. Went on to have the career he had. Some people started calling him Fraudly Harrison. Now, I'm not going to be so disrespectful to say that, but
you just said that.
Just putting it out there. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. The amateur thing. I think you can see parts of the amateur isms in Fraser. And if I'm being brutal, at this age, at this stage, he needs to keep pushing. Get in there with Wardley, see what you can learn, see what you might win.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you've got nothing else to lose.
Exactly.
It's a fight. But yeah, back to OKOLIE. He obviously won comprehensively on points. Wasn't troubled at all by David Light, I didn't think. Again, didn't inspire anyone. People were leaving the arena while he was fighting, bro.
Yeah, that's mad.
That's terrible.
That's a good... I'll take that on board as well, because I've unintentionally inspired a lot of people.
Yes.
With what I do.
Yes.
I get messages saying, like, you're the reason I'm doing this, or... Like, and I didn't realise I had that impact.
Bro, Because you see, you were talking earlier about, you don't want to lose. You will not lose. You refuse to lose.
Yeah.
You've got heart. And that's the sort of shit that inspires people. Because, bro, it must be hard, staying on diet, staying on weight.
Yeah, it is hard. It's mentally hard. Like, I have a good mentality, and to stay head on shoulders focused, it's not for everyone.
No. And I'm not being funny. I went training once at Shoebox, yeah? Emphasis on the word once, because I ain't been back. Bro, it's hard.
And that's just the open adult session, bro. That's not the sessions, like, that's not an easy. They're not easy.
They weren't training me to be a killer.
Not easy. Yeah. Minute sessions, they're full speed. But when you got, say, Wednesday pro session, bro, that 1 minute you're doing is a 3 minute on each thing.
Bro.
They're mad horrible. I can burn over 1,000 calories in them sessions.
Fucking hell. Yeah, that's madness. So for you to keep showing up, improve, get in there, face someone who wants to take your head off. Like you were speaking, or I heard that when you spoke about your last opponent, you didn't actually research them. You didn't know who they were.
No,
you just knew their record.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, I knew how many fighters he had. I think he had, 42 pro fights. That was it. That's all I needed to know.
So you're getting in there on your second fight with a guy who you know has been in there 20 times more than you, or 40 times more than you at that stage.
He's done 4 rounds, 6 rounders, 8 rounders, I presume. So he's experienced. He knew how to do that, but...
And what's going through your mind?
I'm going to win.
That's it.
I need to win this.
No fears, no doubts.
No, I mean, I believe in myself. I know I've got skills to beat him. If he wants to come in, let's have it. My coach wouldn't say, "We'll take this fight," if he didn't believe I would win this.
Yeah.
The moment he says, "Let's have this fight," is the moment I know I'm in a good position here.
It's that validation just for someone else to say, "Yeah, we know you got this. Let's go."
But yeah, no, I did see him on YouTube. I did watch him. I just heard his name. I didn't check all that, but I just seen a couple of his fights on YouTube and thought, "Cool, he's a forward fighter. This is going to be a good fight because we're going to match." And it was. I thought it was a great fight.
Yeah, it was a great fight. Yeah, it was good.
I did catch him with a body shot, and he did start to back off and hold a lot.
Yeah, I noticed that towards the end of the fight. Yeah.
But when someone's holding you and your arms on the outside, you can't do much. And the battle is to be on the inside. And if he's there, then the only thing I can do is not try to push him off because he's going to hold. So it's more of a case. If you notice, I fell down into the second rope at one point because I knew if I play on this, he's not there to hurt me right now. He's holding.
Yeah.
So if I
he's
can
stall.
Yeah. So I'll get the ref to come and jump in, and I'll take the center of the ring.
Yeah.
So the worst thing to do when someone's holding, or the hardest thing to do, is just wrestle them off.
Tiring, isn't it?
It's tiring, and you don't know you're burning that energy until you want to go throw your next combination.
And your knees weak, arms are heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting. Those are the little tips that we try and bring on SOFA SENSEI'S, because if you wouldn't have told me that, I wouldn't have known.
When you're holding, it's a battle of the inside.
Right.
Because you can throw your hands from the inside, you can cover from the inside. Everything's from the inside. If you can't get yourself from the inside, get the ref to break it.
So, talking of being on the inside, Lawrence Okolie's game plan, as soon as it gets past his reach, is grab and hold.
Yeah.
And we tweeted yesterday on akhi&saltfish on Twitter to say, maybe I'm being harsh, does Okolie look like the #1 cruiserweight in the world right now? If no, who do you think is? And out of 27 votes, 93% said no. And someone called Joe Dornan says, #1, Badujak. #2, Riakporhe. I didn't reply to this because I was watching the fight and then drifting off. I don't think Badujak beats Lawrence Okolie, but I think that is a nice, easy route for Lawrence Okolie to pick up another belt. Yeah. So if he wants to unify, Badujak's the weak link in the division, in my opinion, at 40 years old.
Did USYK then? Did he have to give up all his belts?
Yeah, when he moved up. So they're all dispersed.
Man, did he not want to keep hold of them and come down?
Nah, I mean, often challenges you see when fighters go up and down, their punch resistance goes. So when Roy Jones Jr. fought John Ruiz at heavyweight and then went back down to light heavyweight, 175, got chinned by Antonio Tava.
Mad.
And that was when Roy Jones was the GOAT. And he got chinned. And then he lost the next one. And then we saw that tail end of his career where he just kept getting beat. It's mad. And obviously part of that is his reflexes going and all of that. So.
Yeah. It's difficult changing.
Yeah. I think Riakporhe could give Lawrence a really good challenge. I think he could really beat him. And then obviously you've got Chris Billum-Smith in the cruiserweight division as well, who is trained by Shane McGuigan, who Lawrence Okolie was trained by. So they know each other really, really well.
There's a lot of good talent in that division.
Yes.
And matches that need to be made.
Exactly. But there's some interesting points. Like, as much as Lawrence OKOLIE is boring and a little bit awkward, he's never been close to losing.
No.
So he might beat all these other guys and just still look shit doing it.
You got to be entertaining.
To create fans, you've got to be entertaining. But he might just be someone like Johnny Nelson who looks shit, but is hard to beat.
Yeah, there's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, we might see that. Also, last night present was KELL BROOK. So he was sitting next to Liam
KELL,
Smith.
man.
Yeah, he's a good guy,
I
man.
like KELL.
He's a good guy, great fighter, and funny guy. I don't know if he intends to be funny, but I just find KELL very funny when he talks.
Exactly his voice.
You're right, baby. Yeah. But he's really whispering coming back.
I hope he does.
Do you think so?
Even just to watch him again, exhibition, normal fight, he's a good fighter, man.
Let me throw out a few names to you for KELL BROOK, yeah?
As in exhibition or general, like
Real fight.
cool.
Liam Smith,
How old's KELL now?
36, if that.
Liam Smith's got to be his foot. How old's Liam Smith?
About the same, 34, 35.
KELL BROOK.
Okay, interesting. Eubank Jr. 160.
KELL.
Okay.
Eubank let me down in that Liam Smith fight.
Bro, fucking hell, that pissed me off. Man.
He can't fight on the inside. He don't know how to.
And same with Roy Jones. If you rely on reflexes and they start to go, you get caught. But then also, what was really interesting with Eubank was when he got hurt, he got straight back up. He didn't know how to
Bro,
call.
That's him trying to keep hold of his pride, I think. That's the wrong thing to do. If I ever got, touch wood, hypothetically speaking, if I was to get put down, even if I wasn't hurt and I might have slipped down,
Yeah.
I'm still using my count.
Yes. Take time.
Don't get up straight away. It's the worst thing.
Take time. The last name, Conor Benn.
What, against KELL?
Yep.
I like KELL too much to say no.
Okay.
Conor Benn's an interesting one. He's
I'm worried about KELL in the Conor Benn fight.
yeah, he's 100. He's straight to 100 fast. He comes
Fucking
blown out
quick.
But if he doesn't get you out, which we haven't really seen yet,
Yeah, it's true.
how does he cope after that?
I mean, he went 12 rounds against Formella. The reason I know that is because I got my whole family to watch that fight, and it was like, yeah, he's going to stop him. And he just didn't. I was like, oh, shit. But Formella's not KELL BROOK. And the thing that keeps getting me is, and maybe Conor Benn did just get better. Yeah? Maybe he did just get better naturally. Yeah? But he fought Paynard, that journeyman from France, and got put down in one of the best 6-round fight I've ever seen in my life.
I need to go back and watch that.
That was a great fight. He got put down a few times and just, obviously he won the fight, and in my opinion it was about a draw, but he won the fight. And then he's come back and he's just been a killer.
Yeah, he's got that.
And he
killer
doesn't get
mentality.
hurt. So maybe it is a mentality shift as much as it's a physical shift as well.
He believes he's that good.
Yeah.
Which is
Powerful.
you're only as good as you believe you are.
Yeah, maybe it is that. But yeah, I don't think KELL BROOK, in my opinion, should come back. I think we've seen him at his career. I think
He had a good career.
Yeah, he had a great career. And I think he just needs something else. Because you have one more fight, then what? You have another one?
Well, that's the thing about this sport, bro. It's all you ever know. And if you cancel it out, it's still going to be on your mind.
I'm
You're
mindful
gonna
to
wanna
ask
get back
you.
in there.
I don't want to ask you this because you're very early in your career, but do you ever think about what's next? Or are you just in the moment?
In the moment.
I think you have to be.
Yeah. Because I don't know when my career will end. Could be tomorrow. I could walk out the door, get smashed by a car, touch wood.
Yeah.
Or something goes wrong and it all goes tits up, and then where'd you go? But luckily enough, if boxing doesn't work out, I'm a good IT person.
Yeah.
I've got careers. I've got options. But
So you got a life outside of boxing.
Yeah.
I think that's what KELL needs. I think KELL needs something outside of boxing. I mean, it's difficult as well when your career has been guided by someone who's such a guru like Brendan Ingle, and he passes, and there is no one like him, either in the sport or in KELL's close circle. What do you do? How do you move on? But anyway,
tell you an interesting podcast. I know we're on a podcast, but an interesting one to listen to is the George Groves one with Ricky Hatton. There's 2 parts to it.
I haven't heard the episode with Ricky Hatton, but I love that show.
The one with Ricky Hatton. It talks about how he went up, down, turned, and then come back and did his exhibition fight, and it covers what we're basically talking about now. Like where do you go? What do you do when you fall out with this or you don't have this? When I'm doing my long steady jogs, that's the one to listen to, and I thought this stood out.
George and Deck are such a great team.
Yeah,
they're a great team.
Good.
Okay, one of the final fights I want to talk about today is just about Benavidez versus Plant last night. Did you get a chance to watch it?
Didn't see it. What time was that on?
Stupid o'clock, bro. Like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Bro, as soon as I fell asleep
Yeah,
in
that's
the
it.
Lawrence
Bedtime.
fight, I didn't wake back up.
Bedtime. Yeah, very interesting actually to see Plant and Benavidez fight. Benavidez, obviously, you could see it in his physical shape. Trained his hardest ever for that fight. He didn't look as chubby as he usually does. He was in shape. And what was interesting even more so was the way he came on towards the end of the fight, really sticking it on Plant from about round 5-6 onwards. Very interesting watch. But for me, I feel a bit bad for Caleb Plant. He's just come out of a fight with Canelo where he did lose, but he might have been able to talk himself into a mind state where, okay, I'm still number 2 in the division. I just lost to number 1. And now he's definitely not number 2.
Did he not win?
No, he lost 12-round decision.
Mad.
And I think Benavidez gives Canelo a really good fight. A really good fight.
What's next for Canelo? Who's he got next?
That's the question. So he's fighting John Ryder on May 6th, which is more or less a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to see John Ryder win. That's undisputed on the line. Imagine that. Imagine if John Ryder becomes undisputed super middleweight. Mental.
Mad.
Mental.
Did you see the sorry, it was a good fight
Sorry.
on last night as well. The Beluta fight.
No, I didn't actually know BT had fights on.
It was both on at the same
Yeah.
time.
So
That was a good
I didn't
one.
see it. I
Kane
saw.
and Beluta.
Yeah, I saw some clips actually. It looked mad. I saw Ben Fair was on that card as well.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he was on that card. Come back after 2.5 years of injury, and got a win. So congratulations to him. Moses Ituma was on that card as well, and he second 1-minute fight. Great. That's what I love. When you're building up a fighter, get them those and get them out regularly and get them those vicious performances. You know what I mean? To build that show reel up. Moses is 18 years old and he wants to become the youngest heavyweight champion in the world. So if the division opens up like it looks like it's going to, we're seeing the end of the USYK era. We're seeing the end of the Tyson Fury era. All they've got to do now to tie it up is fight each other. Then it's done. Some belts will become available. But yeah, I didn't see that fight. Beluga, is that his name?
Beluta. You see when he boxed Liam Davis?
Nah.
I was there for that. Ethan was boxing on the same card. Liam Davis is class, bro.
Really?
He was the first person I did a 4-round spell with. Him.
Baptism by fire. Damn. How did it feel when you're in that moment with a guy?
Oh, it was great.
You're learning.
Yeah, I learned. I thought, this is big.
Mm.
Like, but he's very strong and accurate. Like,
Right.
I can see why he is where he is.
Why is an accurate fighter dangerous?
Because if you hit a shot accurate, it hurts. If you got good timing, you could throw a punch and hit it. But if it isn't timed right and you've not got your full extension at the right time, they could be soft punches. But if they're accurate, they don't even need to throw them hard because they just hurt.
Do you know what? That was very interesting, actually. Thinking back to that card, your second fight in Feb. There was the first fight. I can't remember who it was. There was super middles, though, I think. Or were they welterweights?
But on the same show.
Same show. No, they were welterweights, I think. But
Yeah.
They were throwing shots, and listen, who am I to judge in it? But they didn't look hard. But then you get to the lighter fighters, and they look snappy.
Yeah.
They look hard, and it was it makes sense now. Now you said the accuracy makes the shots hard.
It's the accuracy and timing. They just makes the shot hard.
Mm.
It just happens. You can throw big shots, but if they're not throwing properly or they're not connecting, but they're not going to cause much damage. They're just going to tire you out.
Mm. Interesting.
And the pro gloves as well. They're tiny and they're hard, and the weight is on the wrist.
Really?
Yeah, the weight of our boxing 8 ounces, and it's here like there's nothing there. I hit that guy in the head and my knuckles hurt.
Damn.
So it's, when I got caught with that uppercut, I thought, right, that's if I was sparring, it wouldn't have
Yeah,
much
yeah.
of an impact. But because it's basically just a knuckle cover.
Mad. Right. Talking of fights, what's your next one?
June the 2nd, I think it is.
Okay,
June
we've
the
got a
2nd.
date.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, it's not been told June the 2nd, so that's what I'm going to get ready for. So I think it's going to be home show again in Northampton.
Nice. BCB.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know who it's going to be or anything like that. I don't know if it's a 4 or a 6 rounder. It might be a 6 rounder this time. Let's see. I'll find out in the next few weeks, I hope.
What are you hoping for? Like, in an ideal world, if you could design your next fight, including the outcome, what would it teach you? What would it give you? What would you leave there with?
I won a 6 rounder. Let's see where my fitness is at the time. Obviously, I've just come off a holiday now. My first spar back from my fight, last one today. Felt alright. So we'll see 4 or 6 rounder. Again, like the last 2 fights, I wasn't going for no stoppages because I needed to get some rounds, understand I can get through these rounds. So
Yeah.
hopefully a late stoppage. I don't want an early one. I want more rounds. So if I get a 4 or 6 rounder, I'll probably look for a late stoppage this one.
What's the benefit of rounds?
It's experience. So if I go into, say, a 6 rounder now, the last 6 rounds, think, all right, well, I can do 4, I can do 6. Total shots are like, what, 10 rounders?
Yeah, yeah.
So the benefit of having rounds in your belt as well as sparring is you get yourself fit for the rounds. There's no point me going into a 10 rounder when I've only done, and I haven't seen past 3 rounders in a fight. If I've got people out, if I'm scheduled to box 6 rounds or 8 rounds and I'm taking people out in the first 3 rounds, then I get a title shot against someone good. I'm not necessarily going to get them out in 3 rounds, and how am I going to cope in the next 6 or 7?
Yeah,
So
panic.
Yeah, you think I've never been this far.
Yeah.
So what people don't understand is, are you going to knock him out? You're going to knock him out. Early in your career, it's like, if the opportunity arises, oh, I'm not going to not take a knockout. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go in for one when I've not done rounds yet. So it's just building experience and where we're at. So I know I'm comfortable with 4 rounds now. Like, regardless, if I can have time out, come back in, I'm comfortable with that.
So we spoke a year ago on SOFA SENSEI'S. Make sure you go back in the archive if you haven't heard it and check it out. And we spoke about, that transition from amateur to pro, which you hadn't done at the time.
Nah.
Now you've done it. Anything feel different?
Training's harder. Well,
Really?
I say it's harder. It's not. It is, and it's not. It's the rounds in training that you do become longer. So I'm no longer in the amateurs. You're doing 3 2-minute rounds is all I ever did, and now I've changed straight into 4 3-minute rounds. So I'm doing essentially double the time, a minute extra each round. So I've gone from 6 minutes to 4 8 to 6 4 8 12 16. Yeah, maths 16 minutes, but I was a bit of a bittersweet moment because as I was doing the transition, in the first few sessions, mentally I'm thinking, right, I know I've hit, even when sparring, I know I've got to 2 minutes now because I've usually mentally, like, I know I've stopped.
Wow, really?
So now I know I've got another minute left. So that isn't easy.
So you mentally, you know what 2 minutes is?
Yeah. Straight away, I knew I'm usually done my round. I look at the clock, I think minute left. Like, I know. Like, you know where you are in a fight when you know how long you got left of that round. Same now, I'll do it in the 3 minutes. I'll know when I've roughly got about 30 seconds left, or you just know.
Practice.
But then I got appendicitis, so I had to have time out, get my appendix taken out during that whole transition time. So then when I finally got back into training, it was straight into sparring 3 minutes, training the 3 minutes. So it wasn't like the transition, I just came into it again. So it's like learning that again. So it wasn't like, so yeah, although I had my appendix out, took time out, it also helped me do the transition in the same way.
The interesting thing about the gym you're in as well, Team Shoebox, is that you've got a pocket of people who are at the beginning of their career, and you've got some people who are in the mid part of their career as well. So you've got a load of people who I imagine you can lean on and say, what did you do for your 3rd fight? Or
Literally. Or you can learn from as well. You can learn from Kieran, Ethan, Dempsey, Mike. Everyone in that gym is different styles. So it's a case of, say I did a sparring round, I'd be like, oh, Ethan, if you're in this position, how would you do it? And he would say, I'll probably do this. I'd be like, didn't think of that. Let me try to put that into my style, in my way. And you learn new things off them, which is always good.
And tickets, I see you when you got a fight coming up. You're the ticket man. You know, you're reaching out to people. You go in and find them and selling them those tickets.
It's hard. It's not. It's a graft itself. Selling tickets is a job, and you don't want to. It's annoying because everyone's like, yeah, I'll come to your next fight. I'll come to your next fight, and you think, yo, I got the tickets now.
Yeah.
Do you want to come? I'll get back to you in the month. Cool. When you pay, everyone has financial problems. Wait till payday, but don't tell me you're gonna come to a fight and then make me have to pest and not come, because it makes me feel like a dickhead. I don't like nagging to sell tickets, but you have to
make a living.
To make a living, build the pedigree, and show you can sell tickets, get the big title shots. And
that's what it is. Selling tickets gets you title shots.
Yeah, pretty much. It gets you the away fight, gets you the bums on the seats. We'll have, pretty much it. So I'm hoping by the end of this year, start of next year, I'll be looking to box for a title, whether it's area, Midlands, see what position I'm in then.
Do you know what? That's the maddest thing, I think. We've done across the network about 62 episodes now that are out. And on this show in particular, I think it's 32, yeah. So this will be our 33rd show. it's mad. When we started this, we thought boxing was, we're called Sofa Senseis for a reason. We sit here and watch it on TV. The fights that we've seen Nico in, we've seen in person. It's a completely different atmosphere, completely different vibe. If you want to get an idea of what that vibe is, check out our vlog on our YouTube channel. But the point I'm making is, I didn't know tickets was such a imperative.
Bro, I didn't know.
Really?
In this career I've been in boxing, I've just taken it as, when I started, I want to go pro, but I've taken it each step at a time. I'm not thinking, after this I'm doing this, I'm reaching that, and then I'm looking at the next, I'm reaching that, then... Because if you look too far and you think, I've got to do this, I've got to sell this many tickets, I've got to do this, you end up building something in your head that you don't think you can do, and then you end up taking steps back.
Right.
So I take it as it comes. When I heard, you need to sell 6 to 8 grand's worth of tickets, I think 6 to 8 grand.
What, for one fight?
Yeah, that's what to earn a bit of money or a bit of change. Wow. I think the first fight I sold 8.5 grand's worth of tickets. This time I sold 6.5 grand just after Christmas. Like, fuck, bro, it's a lot. Selling tables,
so you must have had a lot of people in there.
Yeah, a lot, bro. I think I sold 5 or 6 tables, and then
that's the promoter saying to you, if you want to get paid, sell this amount of tickets.
Yeah, not necessarily. So yeah, basic. Well, yeah, in a way, like they put shows on because they've got to make their money. You got to pay for the opponent. You got to pay for the venue. I mean, you get your purse money, but if you don't sell a single ticket, you don't see that purse money. That all goes out.
Really?
Yeah. So
fucking hell, man.
It's not easy. And then by selling the tickets, it means, for example, my promoter or manager, will say, right, we'll get an away shirt. Might get BT Sports. This guy sells tickets. He's good. Let's get him on there. He's ready. Right. And it just goes through the channels and.
Yeah, if you end up on a BT or a whatever show, DAZN, Sky show.
But that moment there is where that'd be my time to say, yo, let's get this win, and now let's get signed to something bigger.
Mad.
Better. And
it's a journey, man. Wow.
It's something. I'm still learning how it all works.
Well, I noticed what you're doing on social media is very, very good as well. Very interesting, because I see you got a guy with a huge camera at your fights, recording the moments. I guess recording you in the build-up, recording
that's
you in the
one of
aftermath.
my girlfriend's friends actually. So
really,
yeah. So he comes, he records. That's what you need.
What's his name?
Well, we call him Spick, but his name's Bradley.
Nice. Shout out Bradley. Yeah. What does he do for you?
He's just he's a photographer, cameraman, film stuff himself. That's what he does at uni. That's what he loves to do. So when he said he'd happily come out and help, and we've got these plans that we want to do, like the whole build up to fights, everything, like put it all together. So I don't even know he was there at the time. He said he's coming. He's started doing more bits for boxing now. He did a bit with Kieran. He's done bits with BCB. Like, I brought him into the world. Like he's constantly trying to learn about boxing. Like when he asks me questions, I have to answer. I'm learning myself by answering these questions. I knew the answer to, but expressing it, like he's like, how does this work? How's that work? He's like, fuck, like, is this what boxing's like? I'm like, yeah, bro, man. You don't realise until you're in the game. So yeah, he was just there putting videos together for me, and that should help promote me and stuff, help promote him and his photography and stuff. So it's interesting. He's working on the full video now, but he's got other people like doing other bits so I'll just wait for him to send me it when it's done.
And that's the sort of stuff, like if you put that together, get that out there, people are going to pay attention. They're going to know who you are, and they may not be interested in boxing, but they become interested in the personality and what the personality does. That's one thing. If Rochelle was here, I know he'd say this as well. When we had you on, you were our first boxing guest, and we knew from the conversation we had recorded, but also the conversation we had after as well, how much of a good talker and an enigma you were as a personality. And when we're watching fighters like Joe Joyce or Dubois or even Lawrence OKOLIE, you're like, oh my God, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't want that. As Sofa Senseis, we want people who are going to capture our attention and make us want to invest financially,
100%.
Physically, all those sorts of things. So with that in mind, thank you very much for coming on for the third time.
Having me. Yeah,
so the first time was a year ago.
Hard,
then we watched Fury vs CHISORA, and now part 3, Sofa Sensei Sunday Sit Down, featuring Nico Michael. We discussed the last week in combat sports, as well as Nico's last fight and his next fight. So make sure you support him. Follow him on Instagram at Nico Michael. Make sure you follow him right there. And Sofa Senseis on Instagram too. Don't forget, we're also available on Twitter at akhi&saltfish. And if you like this beat, You've got my brother Troy to thank, so make sure you reach out to him. We'll put his details in the description as well below to say thanks for producing that Sofa Sensei beat, man. It's hard. Thank you very much. This has been the Akhi&saltfish Digital Network. Take care and goodbye.
Bye.